All right, let's talk about the GED Math test. If you've ever felt like it's this giant, impossible wall standing in your way, you are definitely in the right place. We are going to break down Dr. KoolKats' proven strategies to help you walk in there and pass with confidence.
You know that feeling, right? You stare at a math problem and your brain just kind of fogs over. It happens to so many people. But I'm here to tell you, it's not because you can't do it.
Because it's not about being a math genius. It's really not. It's about having a solid strategy, a game plan. The GED isn't trying to find the next Einstein. It's just checking if you can use a few key skills with a smart approach.
So we're the KoolKat team, and we've spent a ton of time digging through everything out there to find the strategies that actually work. Let's just dive right in.
First things first, algebra. I know, but it's a huge part of the test, so we gotta face it head on. The real key here is learning how to decode what these questions are really asking. Okay, so you see a question like this. You've got coordinates, you've got the word slope, and it's really easy to just freeze up. But don't. Let's figure out what they actually want from you here.
The skill the GED is testing here is just rate of change. That's it. From now on, whenever you see the word slope, I want you to immediately think rise over run. It's the change up and down divided by the change side to side.
So let's actually apply that strategy. The rise is the change in the second numbers. So 18 minus 6, that's 12. The run is the change in the first numbers. So 10 minus 4, that's 6. Now you just divide the rise by the run. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Boom, your answer is B. It's as simple as that.
All right, here's another super common problem type, solving for x. It looks complicated, but I promise there's a simple, repeatable process we can use every time.
First, we got to distribute that 6 to everything inside the parentheses. That gives us 6x minus 30. Okay, now we want to get all the x terms on one side, so let's subtract 3x from both sides. That leaves us with 3x minus 30 equals 9. Now add 30 to both sides. We get 3x equals 39. The last step, just divide by 3, and x equals 13.
Uh-oh, hold on. We got 13, but 13 is not one of the choices. This is that moment of pure panic on a test, right? Did we screw up? Is the question wrong? This feeling is a trap, but it's where a really important strategy comes into play.
And this is maybe the best tip you'll get all day. It is almost never the test that's wrong. It's usually a tiny little calculation mistake. Did you mess up a negative sign? Did you forget to distribute to one of the terms? Before you panic, just take a deep breath and calmly, quickly double-check each step. Building this habit is a total game changer.
Next up, let's talk about real-world problems. You know, a lot of the math on the GED isn't just numbers floating in space. It's about solving practical situations that you might actually run into.
Here is a classic word problem. It's all wrapped up in a story about a car rental, but the strategy is to just ignore all the noise and pull out the numbers that matter.
So what's the real skill here? It's all about translation. You're turning this budget problem into a math sentence. And the key word here is maximum. That little word is a huge clue that tells you we're not using an equal sign.
So here's how you solve it. Your total cost, which is the $50 fee plus 30 cents per mile, it has to be less than or equal to your $110 budget. So first step, subtract that $50 fee right off the top of your budget. That leaves you with $60. Now just divide that $60 by the 30 cent per mile cost. You get 200. The maximum you can drive is 200 miles. Answer C.
Okay, next up, a skill that is useful way beyond just the GED, reading charts and data. I know these questions can look a little intimidating, but trust me, they're often just hiding some super simple arithmetic inside of a picture.
So here is a very typical pie chart problem. You've got a total budget, $3,000. You've got percentages for most of your bills, and your job is to find the dollar amount of that one missing piece, the savings. Our very first step is to figure out what percentage of the budget goes to savings. Well, a whole circle is always 100%. So let's just add up the percentages we know. 40 plus 25 plus 20, that all equals 85%. So savings has to be what's left over. 100 minus 85 is 15%.
Now for the final, easy step. What is that 15% in actual dollars? You just multiply your $3,000 budget by 0.15, and that gives you $450. The correct answer is A. See, not nearly as scary as it looks.
Okay, let's tackle the part of the test that usually gives people the most anxiety, the no calculator section. But I want you to think of this as a good thing. It means the questions are specifically designed to be solvable with basic mental math and, of course, a good strategy.
Here's a perfect example. We need the greatest common factor, or GCF. Now that sounds really technical, but it's just a fancy way of asking, what's the biggest possible number that divides evenly into both 56 and 84?
Now, you could sit there and list out every single factor for both numbers like you see here, but here's a way faster strategy. Just test the answers and start with the biggest one. Let's try 28. Is 84 divisible by 28? Yep, it's 3. Is 56 divisible by 28? Yep, it's 2. Since 28 works for both and it's the largest option, that has to be our GCF. The answer is D.
Woo! Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's boil all of this down into your final go-to game plan.
So remember these key takeaways. 1. For every question, ask yourself, what's the real skill they're testing? 2. Don't be afraid of word problems. Translate them into simple math. 3. Watch out for those common traps, like when your answer isn't a choice. And most importantly, number 4, make it a habit to always double-check your work. This is your core strategy.
And I really want to leave you with this thought. This test, it is not a measurement of how smart you are. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's just a challenge. It's a hurdle. And like any other challenge, you can absolutely beat it with preparation and the right set of strategies.
So, the real question I have is for you. Now that you have these strategies, what's your first step? What's the one thing you'll do today to start preparing? You've got this. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.